Good morning or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning back in to the Butter Boys podcast. Although that name is now a work in development, the rest of my team doesn't seem to agree with that name. You guys remember Tyler from last time and the defender of the McDougal family name. I'd like to. I'm very happy to announce our guest star on today's episode. He's a good friend of ours, Ty. Different name than Tyler. We will be referring to them as such. He is actually a member of the military. Ty, if you would please say hello.
What up?
He just graduated from basics not too long ago, and we would like to ask him some questions today.
Yeah.
So, Ty, why don't you just start by just telling us what you did today?
I didn't do shit today, bro.
Didn't you have a
Come
thing to
on,
So
go
make it
it's
to?
interesting.
nah, so yeah, no, so it's the weekend. We have a schedule for the weekend, which is Saturday, Sunday. It's the
Mhm.
same shit every weekend. We wake up roughly around 5 o'clock, and that's when we do our first formation, where we all stand together and get accountability. We go to chow, which I skipped today because I wasn't hungry. Meaning I just ran away from the formation after the drill sergeant walked away.
But you're working so hard. You need all those calories, don't you?
Not here, no. AIT, not really doing shit. It's kind of like school. So,
But how are you gonna keep up that
uh,
6 pack?
by not eating and working out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then Saturday, Sunday, we kind of just chill in our room. We didn't really do shit.
Hmm.
Went to formations for chow, and then came back and chilled in our room.
Well, I'd like to kick things off with an interesting question that I discussed with my professor uh, not too long ago. In that, it, the way you described it to me was that it would lead to be problematic if you were to leave for like a mental health reason. And I think that I would like to go in a little bit more in depth about that because um, like what's the criteria for sticking around or quote unquote powering through if you've have clinical depression, or are there resources to get help with that, or just tell me about a bit about what you know.
Yeah, so, uh, with mental health, it kind of depends. If it is depression, there are, oh, I forget the exact name, but you can pretty much go to see a psychologist
Okay.
or a therapist, sorry. You can go to see a therapist. Behavioral health. It's called going to behavioral health. You go there for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of talk to a therapist. I haven't gone personally, but I've had a few people who I talked to go there to get out of stuff. It's kind of like a get out of jail free card if you don't want to do stuff.
Sure.
Or if you actually have problems, you can go there. But for other psychological problems like schizophrenia or kind of more severe stuff, not saying depression isn't severe, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, a lot of that kind of stuff will they'll kind of just take you out of the army for it, especially like schizophrenia, insomnia,
But then
anything that.
would that be deemed dishonorable then if they were taken out that
No,
way?
no, it'll generally be a honorable discharge or a medical discharge, more
Mm-hmm.
leaning towards honorable, because medical is more kind of more serious stuff, like you're seriously injured, like unhealable fucking shit.
Would
Uh,
you be medically discharged if you were like deeply cutting yourself or had like a failed attempt or two at suicide, or would that be something else?
uh, hmm, I don't really know personally. I know with suicide attempts, they put you on what's called buddy watch, where they'll have like extra people stay up at night to watch you, make sure you're good, or and you have special conditions under what you can do, what you can have in your room, stuff like that.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure if we're hopping on more occasions and like more serious, I'm sure they'll discharge you. Most likely honorable.
Gotcha.
They're pretty lenient on that kind of stuff.
Good to know. Huh.
What are some things that they don't tell you when before you join the army?
Oh fuck. Oh my God. It kind of all depends on your recruiter. Some recruiters are very upfront, and you can ask them any question and they'll answer you honestly. Some will just lie to your face to get you to join because they have to meet a quota.
Right.
Sure.
Uh, from what I experienced, my recruiter was very straightforward. He's like, hey, if you have any questions, like ask me, I'll answer them. I never ended up asking anything, so I was shocked to a lot of stuff about the army, but it's nothing you can't like just YouTube, and it's all pretty much right there.
What would you say
When you
is?
go,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what did you think was the most shocking thing or thing you were least prepared for?
The rules. There are a lot of rules and regulation that you don't like know.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, shaving. If you don't have a shaving profile, you have to shave every morning, or you can't have any facial hair.
Okay.
When for me, who's someone who grows facial hair every day, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of other people here, you gotta shave every morning. So that sucks. Dress uniform, there's a lot of dress code about how to wear something, when you can wear something, what temperature you can wear something in.
Uh huh.
And that one really blows. But yeah, it's all the just kind of regulations and stuff that really blows. And you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Interesting.
Right. So I recently learned from Briggs, another one of our friends, that if your uniform gets damaged, you are in charge of replacing it.
Yeah, so it's a big problem with your PT uniform. Your PT uniform is just a black outfit that says Army on it somewhere.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
And the shorts have a big problem with getting damaged, and the Army will get like scratched off and kind of fade away.
Mm-hmm.
And those become unserviceable. And yeah, you have to go out and buy another pair.
That sucks.
That's
Yeah, and they're not too expensive, but they're not cheap.
Mhm.
that's whack.
Yep.
What
Then
what does your like day to day look during the week? Sort of
uh
just give us a rundown.
so it's different compared to basic now because we're at AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training. Today's very or here's very like you know what you're doing for the day. So before I finished my classes, which I did this week, it was first formation 4:30 or 4:20, depending on if we're running or working out.
Uh huh.
We show up there, we go straight to a kind of a PT pit. It's got a lot of like tire, cut up tires. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that material. Go there, you do your morning workout or warm up, which is just some push-ups, jumps, stretches, kind of stuff like that.
how morning are we talking? How early are you getting up?
4:30 or 4:20. And,
God damn.
and that's when you have to be at that formation.
So you've got to
And
wake
then
up
you,
before that.
yes, and you have to be in formation 10 minutes prior to that. So it's 4:10 or 4:20, really. So you're normally waking up about 3:30, 3:45 at the latest.
That is
Because you got to
brutal.
shower, brush your teeth, change, make your bed, clean your room, make sure that's good, throw the garbage out.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's,
Pitiless.
well, you got to keep that fan off. It's cold in here. Sorry, my roommates brought our neighbor in here and he's fucking around. So, but yeah, then you go there. Normally you're either running or you're doing strength and stamina.
Mhm.
Which strength and stamina is the best. It's like doing pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, all that kind of stuff. Running's the worst. If
Oh,
you do a run
yeah.
day, it's either gonna be an easier run day where you're just running the track and it's like pyramid runs. So you'd like run 5 laps, run 4 laps, run three, run two, one run, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way back up.
Do you
And
still
that's the
throw
easier
up
day.
every time you run?
No, I stopped that before I even left.
Oh.
I actually only have thrown up once in the army here, and that's when I ate some really bad food at a really bad defect,
Oh,
and my stomach hurt, so I forced myself to throw up, so it would stop hurting because I was
That's
in class.
that sounds like it was their fault.
Yeah, so defects here, uh, not all of them are good.
Mhm.
The one close to our building where we live is really good. They got good food. But then if you go to where our classes are held, the defac over there, it's not good. It's bad. It tastes like shit. And
You
we have to
wanna
go. We had to go there.
you wanna explain to the people who don't know what a DFAC is what that
Cafeteria,
is?
pretty much.
Cafeteria.
You go in, kind of line up outside. They'll call you in. Like, oh, give me the next. We say, give me the next 10 bulldogs, and then we sound off with like a bark. It's dumb as hell, but that's what we have to do. And then we count off. Go in. You grab a tray, utensils, and then you just sidestep down a line. You can pick bread, and then they'll be like, oh, hey, I want this and that, and then they'll give it to you. Then you go to a salad bar, and you sit down. You get up, go grab your drinks. You get 2 cups. That's it. Then you go sit down, eat, and then you can battle buddy back to your room unless they tell you to go somewhere else. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's just a cafeteria.
Gotcha.
It's called the DFAC. It's like I don't know the acronym, but
Interesting.
something facility. I know that. But yeah, so you do PT, which the worst is when you do a 2 mile run, 3 mile run, 4 mile, 5, or what we call car wash hill, uh, which is the very up and down run, and it destroys your legs, so bad. But it's always we only did that run twice, but it kills your legs. It's a good workout.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, and then that's about an hour, hour and a half, and then we go eat breakfast, best meal of the day by far. DFAC breakfast is amazing. You get some really good pancakes and shit. That's my closet. Get out of there.
Do they make like big waffles and stuff? They have those waffle makers.
They do, but it's not big. Like you'll get a. It's kind of like the
I guess that
Eggo waffles.
that leads
It's about the
me
size.
into another question. Do you feel like when you're on the days where you're working really hard and you're working out a lot, or you can even throw this all the way back to when you're at boot camp, did you feel like you had enough to eat? Were you ever like hungry or felt like you had a calorie
Uh,
deficit?
so for basic training, for sure. Uh, you kind of basic training, you really had the option to load your tray up, and you wanted to because you
Yeah.
really needed that many calories.
Uh huh.
So at basic, like especially during breakfast, you could get like everything. So you could load your shit up and
Oh.
eat a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what everyone kind of did. Everyone because you had basic training, it's a lot of physical work, but it's not necessarily working out. Like you're not just doing push-ups and stuff like that unless you're getting smoked for doing something wrong.
Sure.
Uh, but the just the daily stuff you do was very physically demanding.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether it was like walking with weight on your back and rucking, or I can't even think of like examples. It was just stuff that you needed calories for to get you through the day. So we
How
would
often? Oh, sorry.
no good.
How often were they having you rucking in basic versus now in AIT?
Here at AIT, so at basic we did 4 main rucks. One was just to I think it was 2 or 3 miles, and you had very little weight in your bag.
Mhm.
Uh, but it sucked because we did a gas chamber and land nav
Right.
as a daily schedule, and then it was a 5 mile ruck, which was one of the worst because no one's rucked before unless you were a hiker.
Oh, sure.
So everyone's feet were kind of just destroyed. Everyone's shoulders are aching. It was by far the worst ruck. No, sorry, second worst. But that was only 5 miles, which was just down to a location, and then he turned around and came back. And then we had the Anvil, which was 7 miles, 7.5, 8 miles. That one
Jeez.
was easy as hell. We rucked in silence. Some people like sing cadences or the drill sergeant still playing music. We just rucked in silence and kind of you were left to your own thoughts for 2, 3 hours as you were
I
just
like that.
walking. Yeah, it can be really cool because you can like sing your own stuff in your head or have, but sometimes like it gets dark. I know some people on our ruck at basic, they were fighting demons and the ruck did not help until
Oh,
once you get there, you're kind
sure.
of so relieved. Uh, and then you have the forge, which is kind of your main ruck throughout the thing. It's like your rite of passage to become a U.S. soldier.
And rucking is
Uh,
just like a walking pace.
yeah, so it depends on who the drill sergeant is or what platoon is leading it. They can kind of decide that pace.
Okay.
But normally, yeah, it's kind of just a walking pace. Nothing. You're not doing. Yeah, you're not going very fast.
Okay.
But you have a lot of weight in your back. I think we had close to 50 pounds in all on our back, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're walking for so long, like it kind of slowly creeps up on you. So we had 50 pounds, and the forge kind of depends on your company, how far they like want to go.
Uh-huh.
We only ended up doing, I think it was 30 in all, close to 30, 25. And other times, like a lot of it's like 40 miles or like very close to 40. So almost 10, 15 what we did.
Hmm.
But it's not all at once. So day one of the forge, you'll ruck 10 to 12 miles. We did like 11, 12 miles, which with taking breaks is actually not too bad. Uh, and we started midday, so it ended up like slowly getting darker. So that kind of really helps with like your mental as you ruck,
Sure.
kind of being able to look up, see stars, and not be super hot. It's kind of cool out. But it's interesting to see everyone's mental from the start of the ruck towards the end, because everyone's kind of cheerful, they're ready to go at the beginning, and you kind of see everyone like kind of zone in towards the end. They're all silent and focused on what's going on. Um, and then after the first day, you kind of get a rest. Second day, you do some stick lanes, which is like practicing medical stuff, react to contact, and then you end up rucking that night as well, another like 4 or 5 miles, which in my opinion was the hardest 4 to 5 miles ever,
Hmm.
because you're kind of exhausted from rucking the day before and then doing work all day that your body's just destroyed by the time you start rucking. I was crying and I was ready to drop out at that point, but
God damn.
uh something my I was going to church and something the priest there said, I don't know, is that the right word, priest?
Pastor,
Pastor, yeah.
Something
Sorry,
holy.
chaplain is what he's called, chaplain.
chaplain.
He
Gotcha.
said, he told me something that I just kept telling myself over and over again is that the forge is a do not give up exercise. And I just kept telling myself that, and it got me through my hard moments during it. So yeah,
That
then you just kind of ruck throughout the rest of the time.
that leaves me curious if you didn't get those words of inspiration and
Probably not.
someone else in your shoes like just gave up and then was eventually dishonorably discharged. What comes with that? Like how does that negatively impact
Uh,
you?
so if you fail the forge, you're not dishonorably discharged. Uh, you would end up. We actually had someone in our company do this. You would like they'd take you out of your company, and you'd get recycled, quote unquote, to another company. And depending on where they were, you kind of just chilled. You didn't really do much. You went with them to places, but if you already did what, like if you already did everything, you just sit there and watch them. You wouldn't have to do it
Uh-huh.
until they got to the forge, and then you'd redo the forge. We actually had someone in our company join about 2 weeks before our forge, and that's what she did. She kind of just chilled, and talked to us, and then we got there and we actually pushed her through the forge. Uh, she was about to give up again, but she was in my group. On You have to do there's a set things you have to do during the forge, and you have to complete them.
Sure.
One is a road march, so you don't have your ruck on you. It's just you. You have your flick, your weapon. It's called battle march and shoot. So you're marching until you're exhausted, and then you go to a range and you're shooting. And you have to be able to shoot and not like freak out or anything and pass out.
Hmm.
So she, shorter than me, scrawnier.
Shorter than you.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people there are actually shorter than me.
I
I was kind
find
of like
that hard
average
to
height.
believe.
No, she was. She was probably about 5, 6 inches shorter than me. There's a lot of short people there.
Yeah, okay.
Um, she really struggled on it because when you're shorter, rucking or just walking at a faster pace is just really hard. You don't realize how hard it is until you start doing it. Like height when rucking is a big advantage.
Hmm.
Uh, so she was struggling on the road march, and I didn't blame her. Our two leaders were kind of the two fit people, and they fucking we move or they move whenever they're leading. So we were going at a really fast pace. We ended up covering 4 miles at about a 8 minute pace. So 1 mile in every 8, 9 minutes with
Dang.
like you're not running it, so we were moving really fast. And she almost dropped out, but we ended up like carrying her weapon and really motivating her to get through.
Nice.
Uh, so yeah, we ended up getting through. We shot, and then we just road march again, but as a whole. Thing.
I've always wondered, like,
His whole career going there.
with military especially, the sort of fine line between mental strength
Everything you ever
and your physical
right
strength.
before his eyes, and he didn't
Ooh,
notice. He was so
that's
worried
really good. I'd almost say it's more mental. Uh, at least basic training. It really is a don't give up thing throughout all basic. It doesn't really matter how physically fit you are. They'll get you there. Uh, the only physical test you have is the ACFT, which isn't insane at all. It's not that hard to pass. Uh,
What is that?
so it's a group of challenges. You start off with the Powerball throw, which is about a 10, 15-pound ball, and you have to throw it at least 6 meters. Can you talk wide? You gotta throw it about 6 meters. I'll
Interesting.
beat your ass. Which you throw it about at least 6 meters, which that ends up being what a lot of people fail. Either height wise or they just don't have enough power to fucking throw a 15-pound ball, which is insane. But it's not difficult. And then you do, I think it's push-ups. You gotta get, I think it's only 10 push-ups. It's all based on age,
Really?
stuff. Yeah, but it's hand release push-ups, which kind of get to you. They're a lot harder than normal push-ups, just because it
Sure.
drains your arm.
I thought you were
Uh,
gonna say 100. I got scared.
Yeah,
no, no,
same.
no, no, just 10. If they were normal push-ups, it could probably be 100. It's like when you join the military, it's all like, yeah, they'll let you doing push-ups. Yeah, they really do. Like,
Hmm.
and they don't tell you like it's in cadence push-ups. So
Right.
one push-up, one in cadence push-up is two push-ups.
Huh.
So sometimes you'll be going until you do 100, 150 push-ups.
Jeez.
Yeah, then after push-ups, you do the sprint drag carry, which is the worst part by far. It's you're laying down, you have about 20, 30 meters. I don't know the exact length of space that you got to go. So you get up, they'll say go, you sprint across, sprint back, and then you have to grab a sled. It's just like a piece of cloth with 90 pounds on it. And you got to drag that all the way down and all the way back. That's the worst part. It really destroys your hamstring and your quads, and it makes you feel weak as hell.
Jeez.
Uh, yeah, it's difficult. A lot of people start off really well, and then once they get about kind of 3/4 halfway there, that's when all their strength kind of goes, and you slowly start walking instead of running it.
Sure.
Hmm.
And then you do laterals, which is like sidestepping all the way down, all the way back. You grab two 40-pound kettlebells down back, and then you sprint down back. And it's just a big leg workout that just destroys you. You feel exhausted by the end of it. Um, and you got to do that within 3 minutes, I believe, 2:30, from what I've been told.
Huh.
I've been told even 2 minutes, which is insane. I don't think that's true. Uh, and then you do the plank, which you have to hold a minute 30 plank. Not hard. Uh, and then finally you have the 2 mile, which you have to get under 21 minutes. So in all, it's not
Okay.
insane.
Some of those seem feasible.
Yeah, for sure. It's not for sure the 2 mile and the sprint track carry are the worst.
What about the
The sprint track
guy?
carry is absolutely horrible.
What about the guy on YouTube that planks for like 12 hours straight? And
I've
he's like old.
Dude, dude's
Different
abs are like
breed.
probably like granite.
yeah, they're probably insane. Yeah, they're
He's
not. Planking's not that hard. It used to be just one leg tuck, but
they changed it.
not now. It's the plank. Yeah, because a lot of females couldn't do it just because it based off of the body structure. For females, it was a lot harder to do a leg tuck than males.
They do have a different center
So
of gravity.
yes,
That is
it's
true.
all. It was all like yeah, it was just a lot harder for females to do leg tucks than males. So they ended up changing it to the plank.
Hmm.
which is a lot harder than leg tucks. Leg tucks are easy as fuck.
Before you went away for basic, you were required to uh do like mandatory workouts, right?
Uh, yes and no. They weren't mandatory, but they
They
were
weren't
highly
mandatory.
recommended, especially because I was like not in shape, quote unquote.
Hmm.
But yeah, we did before school started. It was show up at the office about 8 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
and then you did about an hour of workouts. Get a little bit of sweat in you, and that was when I was throwing up when I was running,
Right.
because I going from someone who smoked for so long to like going straight into kind of stamina and
Hmm.
cardio workouts just was not it was not for me. But
Sure.
I slowly got into it, and I'm a lot better at running now, especially now after basic.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
like, how well did that prepare you for basic?
Pretty
Did it
well.
help a
Like it's
little
not
bit?
no, it helped
It,
quite a bit. Like you
it was
don't
noticeable.
realize. Yeah, no, you don't realize like how much it helps over the long run,
Hmm.
especially kind of just getting used to working out a lot more and not doing your average workouts.
Hmm.
Because they had us doing a lot of stuff you don't really expect, like a lot of jump ropes, a lot of running, and then kind of like it wasn't like normal workouts. It was a lot of pyramid workouts, stuff that really exhausted your muscle and then kept you going, or would hit a different group in the area. And that's a lot of like what basic training does. So it was really, really helpful. Granted, I didn't show up to a lot of them,
I remember
because
that.
yeah, once school started, you'd have to wake up around 5:30, and then get there at 6. Show up. I'd have to go to school at 6, work out until 7:20, and then go back home, shower, change, and then go right back to school. So it was
Right.
it kind of killed my uh me wanting to do it, because
That's
then I'd
the
have to go to work at the after like school, so my day was just kind of
that's the worst too. You don't want to be sweaty before or during school. That was my only gripe with gym class at
Hmm.
school is that you you're like, okay, I'm gonna work out super hard, and you're all motivated, and all your buddies are there, and then you're all sweaty and disgusting for the next 5 hours.
Right.
yep.
So
That's
I could
yeah.
see that.
That was yeah, but it was also on the days you did it, you kind of felt really good.
Hmm.
Uh, and ended up towards the end, it ended up turning to where if I didn't go, it kind of ruined my day. I was kind of in a bad mood. But then once I went, the days I did go, it like really, I don't know, it starts your day off right.
Nice.
So that, yeah. And it also, doing that stuff gets you used to doing it here. Except here, just a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't, we thought you didn't get sleep at basic training. At basic training, it's mandatory you get 6 hours of sleep, minimum.
Hmm.
Uh, and they'd give you that. They'd give you like not 8 or 9 hours of sleep, if you wanted to use it. Because you had like 30 minutes to an hour of free time before lights out.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but you could use that to just sleep. You could just sleep then and sleep all throughout the night. It was really nice. But then here, they literally give you the bare minimum of 6 hours. You get
Hmm.
lights out is at 9, and wake up is normally at 4, 3 o'clock. So
So
they give you like not a lot of sleep.
now I've got a couple questions lined up, but I'd like to start by going back to what you said earlier. Um, I'm curious how not smoking has been for you and like that sort of whole interaction, and like
Uh,
if the military's kind of taking your mind off of it.
so with smoking the devil's lettuce,
Yes, of course.
it yeah, it takes your mind off it for sure. Uh, I stopped probably quite a bit before I left, actually. Probably about a month before I left, I ended up stopping.
I think I remember that.
Uh, I did it like once or twice uh in that time, but you have to get clean before you go, and that took me a bit because of how much I did it.
It's hard to just go cold turkey too. Like,
Uh, yeah, it's not insanely hard, but it's when you use it kind of as a crutch, it's definitely harder, like I did. and I know a lot of people did use it as a crutch. It's kind of hard to get off it because you have that crutch and now it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have other distractions that kind of takes it off. But it also led me down a road of vaping, which wasn't ideal. That's definitely a problem. So that's what I went to
Mm-hmm.
as another crutch with vaping. So it wasn't that hard on me because obviously you can't track vaping. It's not illegal or anything like that. So
Do you
I
plan
went to that.
on continuing to do that post army, or when you get back for Christmas, or?
Definitely not when I get back from Christmas. My parents aren't fond of it, but once I'm in the general army, big army, probably I don't see myself stopping too much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if I start seeing a lot more health problems, I'll stop, but I'm still young. I don't think I'll see them now. So we'll see how that goes.
Just interests me the how the mindset can change with like form in your day, you know?
Yeah, no, it definitely basic training really takes your mind off stuff. I mean, you don't have time to think about it. Like, oh, what if I had weed right now, or what if I could vape?
Sure.
You kind of sit there and you're like, damn, like I really want that stuff. It'd be awesome. But you just don't have time to think about it. They really keep your mind off everything and all the problems. You're
Gotcha.
more just worried about what am I doing? What's today going to be like? Is today going to be a good day? Am I going to get fucked up? Uh, you kind of just start, you really start like thinking about the good stuff, like going to bed. Night is the best because you get there, you get to write about your day or whatever. You can write letters to your parents,
Oh, nice.
kind of all that good stuff, and then you just get to sleep like you're alone. You're not going to be bothered. It's really nice. That's what you look forward to.
So then my second question was like I'm obviously you probably can't answer this now because there's no evidence of it, but I'm wondering if you think that coming home even after your 4 years or just living beyond the military, you will live differently. Like
For sure.
make your
It's
bed every
dead.
morning and I don't know.
No, I get what you mean. It's for sure like you will be different. I've already noticed a lot of differences. Kind of talking to a lot of like you guys or my family.
Hmm.
You definitely act different. You act with more pride and confidence. Uh, you at least I have a sailor's tongue a lot more now than ever. Uh,
Sure.
but you kind of view a lot of stuff differently, and go about things in a different way. I don't really have too many examples, 'cause, but it's just kind of like I feel like that's how it'll be.
No, no, that's that.
Uh,
I understand.
but yeah, there's definitely a lot of habits that will follow you out of the military, like kind of having a schedule of when you eat will sure be a thing, depending on like where your IT is or how you do it in the army. You'll definitely have a schedule when you eat.
Oh, absolutely.
Eating better will definitely follow you. Working out for sure. Those kind of general things will really follow you, and
Of
you'll
course.
continue to do those, I'm sure. However, like making your bed or stuff like that, I don't think that'll follow you too much. Uh, we definitely had to do it, and I still have to do it to this day, but it's not. I'm pretty sure once I get out of the army, I'm not gonna be making my bed every day. That shit's gonna be a mess.
Gotcha.
Can't think of any other habits that might follow. Being polite and speaking with respect to people.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, it's just a normal thing.
Yeah, it is pretty normal, but kind of more like, they drill it into you here, like just speaking to people and addressing them by the proper title.
Right.
Like a superiority complex.
Yeah, pretty much. But not a lot of there's not a lot of people who like demand it and are very like, the fuck did you just call me and shit like that. It's more,
Yeah, but you have to treat your higher ups differently than you would treat like
Comrades.
yeah, your
yeah,
fellows.
yeah, for sure. You can't just at least here, once you get into the general army, it's kind of more, it's a little different. But here, yeah, you definitely can't just talk casually with real sergeants or anything like that.
Hmm.
They aren't gonna like that. But in the real army, yeah, you can talk to sergeants and they won't be like, why are you talking to them? Why are you talking to me? Stuff like that. It'll be more like, oh, hey, private, what's up?
Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it'll be a lot better, hopefully. It all, the army does not tell you a lot. They don't, I don't know how to, it's very like, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, you're expected to carry out what you were told.
Yes, it's
Mhm.
very, they prepare you as much as possible for kind of a combat scenario, because nothing can prepare you enough for a combat scenario.
Of course.
Nothing will ever will. But they keep you on edge, keep you uninformed, and kind of spring everything on you, uh, to kind of simulate that.
Sure.
To be like, oh, it's like something could happen at any second. Uh, so they kind of do that in the general army all the time, and it's a lot of like not only just that training, but also kind of lack of communication within the army.
Hmm.
Uh, it's not horrible, but it's definitely not.
Ideal.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not ideal at all. It's not the best, but you kind of you get used to it. Just going with the flow of what's going on with everyone.
How would you rate like your overall enjoyment so far
Uh,
of just everything, I guess?
Overall, like looking back on everything, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh, During it, you don't really see it that way, but it really is like you're only doing it once. It's a once in a lifetime thing, and it's
Mhm.
generally
Right.
just a lot of fun. You meet a lot of really cool people, and you learn to click and make friends like just like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's generally just a lot of fun. I had an amazing time during basic and during all of that kind of stuff.
Are you continuing to feel the same way about what you're doing now?
Now is a little different. It's not as fun because it's a lot of kind of class work and not how do I you're not doing like all the adventurous stuff that you uh do at basic or anything like that. You're more
Sure, no, I get
going
it.
to class uh and kind of just that going to class and coming back and then getting informed about stuff. So it's not as fun, but you still learn a lot of cool stuff based on your job.
Hmm.
Uh yeah.
I could see how that wouldn't be as cool.
No, I mean it's classwork. Never really is that cool, but at the end of the day, like you get used to it. That's about it. Never it doesn't get any better than just getting used to it.
Sure. All right, don't all talk at once.
I was gonna say I'm pretty much out of questions.
No, I just didn't want to keep stepping on people's toes if other people had questions.
No, no, it's okay.
We are actually getting down to our last 10 minutes here. Before I always hear that OBS starts to fuck up if you record for more than an hour, so trying to keep it
Hmm.
under that.
Has it already been that long?
It's
Yeah, I
it's
can't.
Like 40 minutes.
it's
Yeah, it's been 40.
getting close to that. So, I guess one important question that I would like to fit in before we conclude is that Ty, you are a very close friend of ours, and I'm wondering what kind of stuff you would like us to like prepare or have ready for when you come back for us to have a good time during Christmas. Anything you're looking
Alcohol.
forward to? Alcohol?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair
Louder
enough.
alcohol.
Party hard.
But yeah, no. Coming back, it's like Fuck, I don't even know. Uh, no, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, just kind of being there to talk and all that kind of stuff would be just sick.
Thought you were gonna say like steak or magic cards or something.
I mean, any of that would be
Magic
cool. Like, magic
cards.
cards would be awesome. Uh,
I think we should have like a Christmas theme party when everyone can have funny hats.
yeah, Christmas Eve would be awesome. Playing some
Funny
D&D would be
hats.
fucking sick.
Oh, I want to play D&D so bad.
Yeah, same. I've been really lately because there's a few people who actually play it here, but I didn't want to play with them because they're fucking weird as shit.
They're the weird
But
kids.
yeah,
They're the not cool D&D kids.
yeah, no, they're not. One of them thinks he's a reincarnated god.
Oh,
You're
you
sh-
telling
you're
me about
you're
I'm
that?
shitting
not.
me.
Yeah, I'm
Why are you
not
just bringing
joking.
that up
Hmm.
now?
Interesting.
I didn't know about it till too long ago. But yeah, no, he genuinely believes he's a reincarnated god. Something
And
like
they just let him into
Scusa,
the
the
military.
void god. It's yeah, no, it's there's three of them. There's three of them. I only know the one,
What?
but there's two others. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, I've been thinking about making like a D&D character, and I've been having enjoying that.
Yeah, that would be super fun. We can do like either a couple day long campaign or a one shot or
Yeah, I'm also uh since I'm finishing AIT here soon, I might be getting some leave time. It all depends on my
Ooh.
first sergeant
oh,
because
cool.
I'm his responsibility as of right now. It's like I'm his kid.
Mhm.
Uh,
Sure.
so anything I do gets reflected onto him.
Mhm.
So I might get you build up leave over time. So right now over AIT I have 10 days of leave. Overall I probably have about 20 coming on.
Uh-huh.
Sweet.
So they might allow me to do 10 because I'll be a holdover here because I'm airborne. So I'll be stuck here for who knows how long.
Does your leave include them paying for your transportation to get back?
No, no.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Damn.
the only time they pay for your transportation is change of duty station. Other than that, you have to pay for it all by yourself. However, I am only 4 hours, 6 hours away from Wisconsin right now,
Well, I guess they're
so I'm not that far.
they're paying you, right?
Yeah, it's paid leave. I get paid for it.
And I guess it's not that
I feel
bad.
bad for people like going to Korea and stuff because they actually they'll get 10 days leave, but then they have to go to Korea and unless they want to pay like $1,000, $2,000, they can't come home for the holiday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's that's something that I kind of don't like about the army is that kind of stuff. Like if you're they won't pay for that ticket for you home to go to the holiday. You're just kind of stuck there unless you wanna buy it yourself.
Mhm.
But if you don't want to go home, like Korea's a great duty station. You can do a lot of fun stuff there.
It's kind of sad if you don't want to go home. But
Yeah, it is.
that's how it is for some people, so I could see it.
Yep, kind of just luck of the draw.
Well, Ty, was there any last tidbits that you'd like to get in or nuggets of information you'd like to drop, or if
Uh,
the boys had any other questions?
yeah, I was gonna say if you guys have any other questions, it's kind of hard to think of stuff on the spot. It's a lot of stuff that happens all at once, so it's like you brain dump a lot of it.
Sure, sure.
I
I guess
personally do not have any more questions I can think of.
I have one more. Do you ever get that like
One.
euphoric moment when you go on your phone after being really busy for a super long time and there being tons of like YouTube uploads from YouTubers that you like too many
uh
to watch?
yeah, that happened after basic. Once we got our phones back, I think it was like 13 hour. We had a 13-hour bus ride.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it really is like you open it up and you go on YouTube and you have a shitload of videos that you want to watch. So that was really cool. But I gotta say, getting your phone back is almost like a punishment. You really like fall into a depression, depressed state when you have
Oh.
your electronic. It's like,
For just social media and
yeah, you kind of fall back into that, kind of sucks you back into that life, of, like just constantly scrolling and stuff like that.
God, I can't
The army
imagine.
is a great distraction off that though.
Sure. I can't imagine that feeling like being away. Just yesterday, I opened my Instagram. I don't know if you guys knew Colton, who he went to our he went to Marshall Middle School. I think he was a freshman at Craig for a little bit. But he's like not only went out and got super jacked, but all of his posts on Instagram are him like he's in a completely different part of the state every other week and like
Mm.
always posting with new like super buff female social media influencers. I'm like I'm like what the I've never felt worse about my life in my entire
Yeah, I guess it's just, it's all the kind of the paths that people choose. Like, y'all are going to college, I'm in the army. Some people chose to travel and not really like stick to a path.
Some people choose to get super like hot.
Let that do all the money making.
I guess so. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You
I
know,
think
I actually do have one last question.
shoot.
Gay son or thought daughter?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, thought
Not daughter,
Thought
really.
daughter.
yeah.
Damn. Homophobic much?
No. Just I don't think I could deal with that.
No, you don't.
Shock.
You couldn't deal with the purses and the.
I think it's more either way, I couldn't relate to either of them, but I feel like I could relate
Like
to the
it's
thought daughter
it's
more.
just it's just it's just a not good question all around.
It is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is kind of a sucky
Bad
question.
question.
I feel like with the gay son, it's not like if he had any problems or anything like that, I couldn't relate to him at all. Kind of be a very distant thing
That's-
compared to like the thought daughter. I could
That's
be
fair.
like,
Yeah, but
Well-
especially as a dad, it hurts so much to see her come home with a new guy every week.
Yeah.
yeah, we can always do something. You can be the reason she's a thought. Like you can beat up the boyfriend till he leaves, you know?
That's one way of looking at it.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Scare him so bad he's got to leave. That's how I see it.
I see.
In a way, you're saving him.
Yeah.
For real. Well, with that, I think that's going to conclude this week's episode. Or if we never upload again, the last
The
episode.
last one ever.
It's really
Yeah.
just whenever we feel like it.
Yup.
Yeah. This is sick. This went by really fast.
It does. It always
It really
does.
did.
Hmm.
I think these are super fun. So be sure to tune in next time when I screen share a video of me pantsing Janice.
You're not doing that.
I just might. We are getting
Never
together next
know.
weekend. You better wear a tight belt. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, I'm
Uh-oh.
stinching that. I'm wearing like triple layers.